Hi everybody and welcome to the On Deck podcast. This will be a series of talks with people discussing various topics, some random tangents and some of their accomplishments in life. This podcast is brought to you by The Baker's Shop. The Baker's Shop's been a staple in the Mansfield area for 25 years. From great breakfast, lunches and bakery treats to evening events, weekend entertainments, the bakery has it all. Everything's fresh and lovely made by owners Mark and Mandy and their amazing team of girls. If you're in the area, come down to the Baker's Shop, Unit 13, Maun Close, Mansfield, NG18 5GY, just off of Hermitage Lane. Look out for giveaways and videos and your chance to win some bakery shop treats. On with the show.
I'm going to try and get Dave McHugh to jump on one with me.
Oh.
I don't know how he feels about it. Yeah, I've not pitched it to him, but it's too funny not to, isn't it?
It cracks me up. Yeah.
What have you been doing then, Toby? You say you've been really busy.
Yeah, just...
Any more ridiculous walking challenges?
I've been contemplating my next challenges coming up. I've got two big ideas, but now I'm back at work full time. It's navigating, having the time off to do it. I can't just take this. One of the first reasons, one of the main reasons why I do all my challenges in a set time. It's not to prove to myself I'm fast at what I do.
Yeah.
It's because I haven't been able to take that much time off work. I'm still only in my mid-40s and I've got to work to be sustainable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
So I don't physically have the time off. If I didn't have to work, I'd walk the entire world. I would. And I'd carry that bathroom as well, do you know what I mean? Yeah,
Is that hardest geezer lad, isn't there?
Yeah.
Who did all that walking, but he did it across. He's doing New Zealand.
He's Africa, isn't he? Yeah, he's in New Zealand.
Yeah. But he did one in Europe when no one really knew him.
Yeah.
Because he's got a missus and that, and he was just like, I'm just setting off.
Yeah.
I quit his job or whatever. I did it and come back and he was like, don't really know where I am anymore. Yeah. Like, can't afford to do that when you've got like kids and family to look after, can you?
No, not at all. You listen to Goggins' story.
Yeah.
And he does talk about he's got a daughter. I think she's a grown woman now. He's touching 50, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he just had to be with the dark place he was in from his lifestyle. What he had, how he grew up. It took him to a place where he had to. It was sink or swim. He had to survive. He had to create something else to survive that level of darkness. You know what I mean?
That's where a lot of it comes from, though, isn't it? With a lot of people that do all these challenges. I don't know if you've seen him. There's a lad called on Twitter. He's called That Whole Boy.
Yeah. Follow him on Twitter. Yeah, he's lost a lot of weight.
But obviously he was getting bullied a lot, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And his dad's ill. But obviously, you look at anyone that does these crazy challenges, they all come across like really funny, lovely people. Like, you just chip away at the surface a little bit, and you can see that there's like a lot behind it.
There's a story. Everybody's got a story, haven't they? Everybody's got a story. Have you seen the guys doing the box wave?
No.
Have a look at them on TikTok.
It
took a young boy who'd been being bullied. I think he's only about 10 or 11. And it went viral. It took a young boy who's a little bit overweight, who's been being teased for it at school. Yeah. And they do like boxing type training and get him out running in circuits and stuff. And old school, picking up logs and whatnot. You know what I mean? And
that's great, isn't it?
It's been interesting seeing that story now. These guys going out and doing this for loads of other people. There's people from all over the country. They're coming up on training and stuff to see them and stuff. I mean, I ought to look into it a bit more, if I'm honest. I'm that busy in what I'm doing myself, but I see that much out there.
Yeah.
People doing good. Well, one of my biggest bugbears is when you look into. I purposely go into the comments now.
Yeah.
And see, because you've got so many haters that
it's
hate
everywhere,
about this thing. But when you see all the positive comments, it's brilliant. It's amazing. Of course, it is. But then I purposely, similar to what Goggins does, I'll purposely go in there to find the haters. And like he uses them for fuel, don't he? And there's always going to be people out there like that. To me, they've got something they need to deal with.
Yeah,
they've got something. When someone's doing stuff like that, they're going out there and hating on you guys are just doing this for the likes on TikTok and the money and everything. It's like, deep down, yes, some people are doing it for that, but deep down, you can see the big picture.
Even then, like, if people are just doing good things for their own gratification, they're still doing good things. So like, don't take that away.
Exactly.
I don't care what fuels it.
And for these young people, and mental health for kids and young people growing up now, it's rife, isn't it? It is in general, but there's a part of your brain, the limbic me. I mean, I've never been academically clever. I was rubbish at school, if I'm honest with you. I did absolutely rubbish in my exams, and I've been impulsive all my life. Possibly got ADHD. I don't know. I don't need a label. I might go into it just to see. I don't know why I need to, but
yeah,
I don't need a label.
anything, does it?
I've always been impulsive myself, and I've started having to. Where it took me when I lost my son, Jake, it took me to a place where I never thought I'd survive. I never even knew about this place, that darkness within. Do you know what I mean? And I don't. When I think about it, I say I don't know how I survived it. I do. I survived it through sheer grit and love for my son. Do you know what I mean? But it took me somewhere where I had to learn about new things. And this is so in young people, when you're growing up, you've got a section of your brain, the limbic system in your brain, and your amygdala is a makeup of that as well. And they say it's not fully matured until about 25, 26, do you know what I mean? And that's responsible for regulating your emotions and making impulsive decisions based on your emotions at the time. Do you know what I mean? It's just, as a kid, how many people out there, can you say, when you were a teenager, go back, just one little spat that you think as a teenager is the end of the world, like you've not got your own way.
We say
you know what I mean?
Oh,
I wish I'd never been born. How many teenagers have done that?
Arguments with your family and your brothers.
Then, unfortunately, this can lead into somebody taking your own life. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Something as simple as that, isn't it?
And the thing is, I know people where in school, you're like not in a competitive way, but you're on a level playing field with them. Do you know what I mean? When everyone's kids, you're all there, aren't you? Some people might be a bit there, and some people might be a little bit there. But I can think about exact dates for people. Oh, that's just
lovely. Thank you.
I can think about exact time and dates for people where I think you made a bad choice there because you're rushed through your emotions, and then that's affected your life going forward. Yeah. And it only obviously the serious end of it is when you take your life, but even just stupid things like I've chosen to go out and sell drugs that day or carry a knife that day.
Thank you.
Like I feel like I'm sick of being bullied. I'm taking a knife to school today.
Yeah.
And it's like, great, now look where we are.
It's all interlinked, isn't it?
And it's like just that one bad thing. But it's at least when we were kids, well, I was on before the internet when I was a teenager. But like, at least when I was a kid, and especially when like you were a kid and things like that, the internet weren't around.
I'm thinking I should have gone for that now.
Yeah, bacon and sausage omelette. The internet weren't really around as much, so you only had as much pressure as you could take, and then you could walk away. But these kids, bless them, they're going home, and it's just constant, isn't it?
And this is a big reason why I'm big on mental resilience. People are always going to do and say things we don't like.
Yeah, 100%.
And we can choose not to be hurt by that.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need to carry that with us. Which leads me on to a little story. I've heard a few times in Buddhism, basically. You've got a Buddhist master is out with his students and comes across a river. And there's a young woman at the side of the river that can't cross it. She's struggling to get over. And the students all know full well within the sect of Buddhism, there's 4 different sectors of Buddhism. They know that they're not supposed to touch a woman out of respect, sort of thing. And whatever reasons, I'm not really going to it, but it's an old school thing, isn't it? Yeah. As well in some cases. But the Grand Master, they look in shock when the Master picks up this woman and gently places her over his shoulder and walks through the river with her and places her down on the other side. And all the way back at the end of this walk, the students are a bit offish with the Master. They get back, one confronts him and says he's concerned because he's gone against the belief system. Yeah. And he turns around and says, that must be such a burden for you to carry. I placed that woman down on the other side of that embankment and you've carried her all this way.
I dropped her ages ago. Yeah. I love a proverb, and I love things like that.
Are we tucking in?
Yeah. Took in. Sorry, mate.
No, you're all right.
Yeah, it's things like that. It's funny because those stories have been flying around for years and years.
They're old Zen stories and that, aren't they? That have been good
But
for years.
they're so relatable now, aren't they?
Massively. I think most people don't realise we are actually responsible for our own mental health. We can take control of our own anxiety levels, but we're so wrapped up with how civilised we've become. We're living in an actual very comfortable state as human beings now. We've got more than we need.
The thing is, though, I think
that leaves us to dwell on everything else, and mental health problems are crazy.
so much inspiration everywhere, though.
Yeah.
I think that I know some people will scroll through their phone for hours and hours on end, and they'll be watching these videos and they won't take a scrap of inspiration from it, and it blows my mind because I see some of these challenges that people are doing, and I speak to people like you who have done some amazing things, and you look at it and you just think, God, I want to be part of that. I've got a mate who boxes at the gym, Luke Sheppard. He's only like in his early 20s, and he does like one-to-one personal training sessions and things like that. Really good boxer, belt holder at his weight category.
Yeah.
But then the other day, I just see on his Facebook, he's sharing his like PT stories, and he's got a little lad in there. He must be about 7 or 8 years old. He's got blades for legs. He's teaching him boxing. You know, like he's got amputated from the knee down.
Yeah, like that suspended, aren't they, as well?
So he's got like blades for legs, and you're like, just looking at that, I'm sat on the settee eating my dinner, and I'm thinking, right, I need to get out and do some walking now. Like, if that little kid, bless him, with his blades, is giving it everything to still try and live like the best life he can, not just like a normal life. He's going out boxing in the evenings. Like, so it makes you think, I need to get up and do something now.
Yeah. Oh, I've got a few people I follow and stuff on social media that have got amputees and stuff as well. That one chap the other day, he posted something, and he'd put something in the comments that he'd put up on his social media. Another amputee had put something in the comments based on him because he's out doing fitness stuff all the time and that. And the guy that's out doing fitness is amputee. I think his amputation's just below the knee.
Yeah.
The other guy's above the knee. He's like, oh, you've got it easy. You've only got a foot knocked off, basically.
Yeah.
Like, what? It's not a competition, mate.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's like just because you can get it. I know double amputees. I know a guy who's leopard crawls up mountains, and is doing I think it's Mount Fuji soon. He's leopard crawled all the way across Humber Bridge. He's done Ben Nevis. He's crawled up Ben Nevis.
That's not
And it comes. I know it comes from a dark place. It's your own darkness in some cases, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's yeah.
The thing is with these people that are so inspirational, they're everywhere. Everyone thinks they're just on social media, but they only get to social media because of they only get that far because of the determination. They don't get famous, then they decide to do something.
Yeah.
They do it, and then because of they're so inspiring, it becomes it. Like, for instance, just when you walk from Mansfield to Wrexham that time, but when you started that, you didn't think at the end of it you'd be rubbing shoulders with Ryan Reynolds.
Not at all. I mean, there's an element, obviously. It was said by a friend of mine, look, I know how we could potentially get Ryan Reynolds involved.
Yeah.
Me personally, I hate going out there and putting someone on the back burner, putting someone on the forefront, sorry. I can't shoot. Sometimes I struggle with my words, Adam. It feels like you've forced someone into doing something. It's like, and you know what? You've got these amazing people out there who's got this big profile, doing loads of good. And I felt like I put Ryan on a back foot doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm never about rattling the pot and all when I'm doing it. I hate the rattle the pot mentality within charities. But then you get people say, well, you've got to raise the money. The bigger part about it for me is the inspiration.
Yeah.
Always the inspiration why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I have to do my challenges. I have to inspire myself to get out of bed and take on the world without my son physically. And I've got to a point where I enjoy doing that now. Do you know what I mean? I enjoy showing up for myself. So the bigger part of it, the challenge for me, is the inspiration. But Ryan getting in touch, amazing, wasn't it? Absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's and it made me. I mean, it was sort of played the character of my son's favourite Marvel character.
Yeah.
And one of my favourite characters, if I admit it. You know what I mean? One of my favourite characters. I sort of wanted to hang on to something with my son now as well. This is why I've done what I've done. And I learnt more about him and what he does. And this is the best thing about doing what I do now. I meet so many amazing people doing amazing things.
Yeah,
this you taking this challenge on. Is it 140 miles?
140
miles.
miles.
Be
yeah.
a marathon a day
For 6 days. Yeah.
6 days.
I've got my route
Brilliant.
plan now.
Have you done it? Yeah.
Yeah. I managed to plan it so I'm in. I kind of end up in like a town or a village somewhere every night. So I've got somewhere to kind of rest my head. I'm going to take a tent and that just in case I fancy doing more or less miles in the day. It works out. My first 2 days are 1.5 marathon days, and then I have like a bit of a rest day where I only do half marathon. And my last 2 days are just marathon days. That gives me the best opportunity to rest up at night, find somewhere with Wi-Fi, send the videos back to Elise so she can edit and things like that. Because at first I jumped into it. I was just like, I'm just going to set off and I drop where I drop.
Have you got your dates?
Yeah.
Let me put it in my diary.
Yeah.
I want to see when it is because I want to join you for a day.
Yeah, I'll send you over all the information. I'll put it up on the screen as well.
That's what I've got at the minute. There's a guy, someone else I've come across. You'll be interested in theirs. I couldn't believe it when I listened to his story. I just added a guy randomly through a challenge page on Facebook, TPEC, 3 Peaks Everest Challenge. And I think the actual challenge is he did it last year. I think it's to do 7 summits of Ben Nevis, 9 summits of Scarfell Pike, or 10.
Just 7.
9. I know. Mate, I've not done multiple summits. This was the question this chap asked me actually. His name's Stephen Oleksic, and he runs a podcast called Inspired Me. I think it's called. And he's got quite a big following with it. I was chatting with him the other day, and his story's amazing with it as well. I love hearing about other people's stories like this. But there's a bit more to it as well. Back in, I think it was pre-COVID times. He actually established a contract with Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know the Arnold show?
Yeah.
I'm sat there doing it. Did you?
Yeah.
Well, back in COVID times, there was 2 times he didn't turn up, weren't there?
Yeah.
And that sort of caused him massive problems to have to go bankrupt because all the money people had put into having photo shoots with him had to carry on. They didn't turn up for the following one as well.
On that, we went to the Arnold Classic in Birmingham, and it was extortionate for those photos.
It's going to be though, isn't it?
But I'm talking like I think it was like a few £100.
Yeah.
But it was like just like a conveyor belt. There was no chatting. There were people at the front. I didn't have one, but my mate had one. I met Tom Aspinall there. He was quite inspirational.
I'm going to sound
UFC fighter.
I don't follow you.
But anyway, my mate had a queue. He had a queue for the picture of Arnold. I think it was like £400 or £500. I'm not sure exactly, but
he's one of the biggest names.
They pushed him in, smile, leave. You're not allowed to talk to him.
Yeah.
You said you were in there for like 20 seconds. Got his photo and then out. And I thought I could not believe the extortionate price for. Obviously, they are the biggest names in the world, and it was still a great day. But I just could not.
Well, this chap's gone on. He's got on his podcast. He interviewed Stallone, Mel Gibson, Robert De Niro.
Wow!
I'm like, wow, and I didn't realise that. You know what I mean? You don't know who you're talking to sometimes, do you? And but he's actually taking on this one, so I'm going to join him for a couple of days as well. So I've got to orchestrate this so I can make sure I do both. This year he's taking on a world record. 10 summits of Ben Nevis, 10 summits of Scarfell Pike, 10 summits of Snowdon in 7 days.
Yeah,
but it sparks me up. It gives me ideas. I'm like, wow, because I'm always looking for that next challenge and wanting more. It's like
that's crazy.
It is, isn't it? I couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, that is next level. And that's what I want to do with myself. I want to keep levelling up, as Goggins talks about, levelling up, and seeing what I haven't reached my limitations yet.
No, that's
There's a lot more to do. You know what I mean?
I touched on it with Toby. Some people look at like records that have been set and things that have been done, and they're like, "Wow, that's incredible." And some people look at them and think, "I'm going to beat that."
Yeah.
But like, if you look back,
and not to say you're better than that person that's done it already. It's amazing what they've done.
But just to like, you look back at history and you look at some of the world records that they've had.
The ex-squaddy is coming out now. You don't waste food.
You look back in like the 1900s and you look at some of the world records that were set, and regular people are achieving them now because we've pushed through the limit that much as a society, and we've evolved that much as a society. These people that wake up every day and think, "I'm going to better myself today," that's what's pushing the world forward.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. I think there's the other end of the spectrum as well.
Yeah,
there's a lot of the other end of the spectrum as well, isn't there?
Yeah,
it's good to look for that positive side, but I mean, never dismiss that balance though as well. So, there's so many people out there doing amazing things.
That's it, and it's just this is why I wanted to do this, because if I can get as many people as I can on just to talk about things, I can raise awareness for as many of them as I can.
And if what I do inspires one person to show up for themselves and build something to care enough about themselves to keep doing that, then
Been worth its weight in gold.
and you might never know that. You know what? And sometimes we don't need to know that, because we shouldn't be doing it to get anything back ourselves. That's giving back, isn't it?
But like I said earlier, if people are doing good things for selfish reasons, it doesn't take away from how good the things they're doing.
Yeah.
I think it's the people that do it for the selfish reasons are even more motivated to do the good things, if anything.
Well, it becomes is that line, isn't it? Is it selfish? Is it self-care? Yeah, I mean, is it arrogant? I mean, a lot of people can quite easily confuse it with arrogance as well, can't they?
Again, though, I find that arrogance is a bit of a necessary to do things.
A bit of what, sorry?
A bit necessary to do things.
Yeah.
You can't do a lot of things in life without being at least arrogant enough to think you can do it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to go as far as just like, I'm me, look at what I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. But to be arrogant enough to say, that's something that I think is possible and I'm going to do it.
Yeah. You've got to see it. You've got to see it. But I think like this challenge I just said about Stephen Alexi doing, 10 summits of all 3 national peaks in 7 days.
That's wild.
To make something happen like that, when you look at Goggins' challenges, you've got to go somewhere.
Yeah,
Not a lot of humans are willing to go.
That's beyond.
You have to go
what
there.
people are
To make
capable
it
of.
happen, you have to go there. And it's a beautiful place. It's a place that we can fear, I think, because it can be very dark. But when
It's tightrope walking into it.
Yeah. It's for me, when I'm doing them, my last challenge was now I can sit here and say the Yorkshire 3 Peaks, and most people listening into this and think, well, yeah, it's a difficult challenge, but it's doable for a lot of people who's done it. But I decided to take it on twice in one weekend, carrying the bathtub. And for anyone that's seen that bathtub,
Don't forget that bathtub when you mention these, because that is just even if it didn't weigh anything.
Put a picture up if you want.
I will. I'll put all the links to everything and.
I mean, like in the when you put the podcast together, put one.
On the video, mate. There'll be links and everything to your page and everything that we can get out for you. Loads of pictures and experiences about what you've done.
Let's get yours promoted. Yeah, let's get yours promoted.
Well, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
It's important. We've got these little hospices that do so much good work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's get that promoted. That's why I want to join you. When you first, I get so many people. I said it to you, didn't I? I get so many people send me messages because of what I do, and I mean, I ain't got a massive profile, but it's, you know what I mean? It's building up, and the only reason I'm interested in building that up is to help more people than anything else. You know what I mean? To get the messages out there better. And I get so many messages come through of people wanting me to share stuff they're doing and stuff like that. And it's more important for me to get in touch direct like I did with you.
Yeah.
I said, do you know what? At the minute, I'm in the middle of a campaign and the general public get confused. I said this to you, didn't I? If you're posting one person and you're being followed by certain people, they're watching what you're doing. You're posting loads of different GoFundMes. It's like, well, the people just scroll through nowadays. They don't sometimes take the time to look at it. So to get people's attention on it, to see what you're actually doing, it's quite difficult through social media.
Yeah.
You've got to be so precise and direct and straight to the point. So I'd rather come and join you for a day.
Yeah.
Not confused like sharing loads during the campaign and doing so. And do something like this and share what you're doing through my posts while I'm on and do a talk with you while I'm walking with you. And
This
let's
is
get it
it.
out there through social media. Do you know what I mean?
When I first got in touch with you, like, it's not. I know obviously it sounds a bit weird coming from like a person that's doing a podcast now and reaching out to people. Before I started all this, reaching out to people weren't really my thing. I was just kind of wanting to crack on and do it. But then talking to family and friends of family like Dave and my brother and my mum, they were like, you need to get in touch with John. Like, you've seen what he's done. And I was like, I know, but I've never spoken to him before, and I don't want him to think that I'm just going, I'm using you type thing. I didn't want that to be the way it came across. That's why I messaged you. It wasn't like a...
I actually want that, if I'm honest. I can just turn up and do these challenges.
Yeah.
The promoting my own stuff and stuff like that, and actually stopping to put it all through social media. You go out and set a challenge, and when the media gets involved, you have to then adapt it around me. I've just been out with 3 dads walking, and they had to cut their family short to get it on BBC Breakfast because they were meeting them at 9 o'clock that morning on their last day and walking the entire perimeter around. You have to adapt to the press because that's what's going to get that final message out there to everybody else. And that's what we're doing it for. Most of us.
It's just awareness, isn't it?
So I'd say to anybody, utilise me if you can. Utilise me in what I'm doing. Because I like to just, I'd go out and do this and throw my phone away, shut off from all social media and just go running through the mountains.
Yeah.
On my own, in my own headspace. It's lovely. It's so lovely to get to a point where you can do that. It's lovely. But then I think to myself, God, achieving this through such a great loss of my boy, and surviving suicidal thoughts for an entire year, daily suicidal thoughts, it's too important not to put this back in somehow.
Yeah.
So that hopefully others can, and Goggins talks about this. After we die, we can have like they'll dissect the human body, human brain or something to find out what was wrong, haven't they?
Yeah.
After we die.
Yeah.
And he dissects his own brain and challenges himself while he's still alive, torn his entire... And the way I look at it is, losing my son Jake, I went to a place where I didn't believe in souls before this. I don't want to sit here and start talking spiritual and sound like I'm preaching and anything like that, but I believe that the soul now is everything that's not physical about you. This is my sort of way I believe it. Everything that's not physical about you. And I felt broken. My spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it. Everything about me was broken. And I've had to go back through my entire thought process to as far back as I remember as a child because I was feeling suicidal. And I was staying just for my other children. Because I didn't want them to lose their dad as well. And my wife, and my mum, my dad, everybody else that loves me. I didn't want them to go through this. I know how much this pain feels. So I embrace that pain and that suffering. And I take it and I face it head on. And the more I face it, the better it is for me and the stronger I get. Because that's part of my relationship with Jake as well. I keep Jake alive by doing it. And if I'm honest with you, mentally, to me, I've lost my son. As a parent, you challenge yourself in a way that what could I have done different? What could I have done better? What if this? What if that? Woulda, shoulda, coulda, as they say with things as well. So when you get to a point where you realise, you know what? There is 1,000,001 things I could have done different and Jake would still be here. And I've said this to people, like, don't put yourself through that. No, I want to put myself through that. It doesn't make it my fault. It doesn't make it my fault for what's happened and me losing it. But it makes me want to be a better person.
not through lack of like a better word, it's like an accountability.
Yes. Yeah.
So like looking back at not
100%.
Because accountability makes it feel like you were to blame, but you weren't.
Yeah.
But like the accountability to know that
Take
you weren't perfect, and there are
right.
things that you can. Because if you look back at things and you think, I couldn't have done anything about that, and that is what it is, you remove yourself from the problem.
Yeah.
But the problem's not taken from you.
And I believe that's why
You just need to be
there's a
you
lot
and
of
the problem.
suicides as well, because people want to remove themselves from the problem
Yeah.
because they feel a burden on other people.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, you and the problem just have to coexist.
Yeah.
Like, the problem's not going away.
Yeah, it's
and
not.
you shouldn't go away.
Yeah.
So between the two of you, between you and the problem, you've got to find a way. And like, whether that's butting heads or whether it's accepting it.
And you're manifesting it worse when you're dwelling on it. You're manifesting it worse, aren't you?
But like you said, if you can pour it all into these great causes, even on your worst days, you can see that you've done good.
My worst days are sometimes my most favourite days.
Yeah. Because that's when you're the closest to your true self. Yeah.
You're facing those parts of yourself that you're ashamed of in most cases, and you wouldn't want to. But it's like social media. Everybody you see, I mean, it's so easy to scroll through social media. If you're in a bad position, you're like, oh, so and so's going on holiday again for the fourth time, or so and so, look how well they're doing. And then you start looking at the negatives in yourself because you think, come on, I deserve a break. I deserve that as well. It's like, well, you're not going to get it sat feeling sorry for yourself, are you? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
let's be honest.
I'm like an incredibly short-fused man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm wound up pretty tight, to be fair. But like at home, before I was doing all the walking and stuff, if me and Elise or me and my mum, if she come round or whatever, got into like a bit of an argument or anything, I'd just be like, right, well, I don't want to talk about this, so this is how I'm going to deal with it.
Yeah.
And like, it's my house, my rules, you do what you're told. But then like with the walking side,
Boundaries are so important.
yeah.
Boundaries, but boundaries are important.
But then with the walking thing, it's just not like that. Even the other week, my mum's come round and Lisa's come round, and everyone, I'm hearing my kids are making loads of noise. I'm hearing it from every angle. Instead of like just scrolling through my phone or something, trying to avoid it, I've just gone, right, I'm off. So I've just got up, I've gone for like a 25-30 minute walk, left my phone, my head's down, I'm thinking about everything that's gone off, and I've come back and I'm ready to like address my problems. And like, it might not be the walk that's done that, but it was the solitary time that I had to spend with myself that's made me realise, like, because you go through like all the stages, you're like, they're unreasonable, and then you're like, maybe I was unreasonable, and it's like, I don't really want to upset them, I love these people. And then you get back and you talk to them and everything's sorted, whereas if you just tuned in and wound up tight all the time, you don't get to go through those stages of being with yourself. You've distracted all those stages out of your life, and then you just snap in.
Yeah.
So like at the minute, I've deleted Instagram off my phone. I've only got Facebook so I can post about this kind of stuff. I try and spend as few time on Twitter as I can, but I do like to keep up with the news of the world. But getting off of the social medias and just like looking at myself a bit more has done wonders for me. Like,
It does, isn't it?
Cheers, thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers, Lindsay. It's we can get wrapped up in that so much, can't we? And what I was just saying about people posting everything good about themselves, and that where I was ending with that was because obviously we don't address the bad things inside ourselves. No, people aren't going to post out there all the worst sides of themselves.
Yeah, really shit day today.
So you are just going to see most of the best sides. That's how it works, isn't it? It is.
And then when you do see people that are moaning all the time on social media,
you end up unfollowing them. So like, I don't need that.
Yeah,
negativity.
you can't be happy either way, can you? It's always, I've been let down again. It's like, unfollow.
And do you know what? And that's and everyone's got the right to do that because you've got to protect your own mental health, haven't you, as well?
I unfollowed my mum on Facebook for about 4 years. Just not because she was annoying me, just because she was posting so much. I was just like, too much for me, that.
Yeah.
She's back now, though, so.
I'll be honest, I've unfollowed quite a few people.
Yeah, you don't want to unfriend them because they're your mates, but you just unfollow them.
I see certain things sometimes, and I'm ready to block and stuff like that. But I think, do you know what? I've stopped doing that now. I've stopped blocking. Unless they're actually a malicious person that would go on for you for some daft reason to make themselves feel better, do you know what I mean? Then they're getting blocked. But I leave everyone else on there because I might post something one day that they could take something from, and it takes them out of the bad place that they're in.
Do you ever find that you've got people on your social media that you don't get on with them, or you're not like a fan of them or whatever, but you're interested somehow in what their life's going like? I think it might be like a younger person thing, where like you get together and you're like, you see what so and so's been posting, it's like sort time with him or it's sort time with her. Yeah. You're like, just get rid of it, and then you don't need to look at it and think about it. But people love the gossip about it, don't they?
If I'm honest, I don't anymore. That sort of stuff since losing Jane.
Yeah.
And I sort of, I'll scroll through and I'll see old friends and family posting stuff with their kids and stuff when their boys reached 18, father, son stuff. And I purposely like those posts and go out of the way to do that. I think to show to myself that, do you know what? Yeah, it's difficult to see other people. This was one of the biggest things when I first lost him. It's like looking around at the world, it's like, look at everybody, just carrying on as normal. Well, yeah, they're going to, aren't they? Yeah. Life goes on. When we lose people, life goes on. And I wanted to reach that point where, after losing James, because after losing a child, it shouldn't happen, should it?
No.
It shouldn't happen. I don't want to sit here and think my problem's worse than everybody else's.
No, but
the amount of people that come up to me and say, God, that's the worst thing ever. It is up there, isn't it? There's so many things that are up there, and losing a child is one of them, definitely. I'd say I'd agree with that. I wanted to reach that point where I know how to show up for myself still. And I'm there because the best way I can describe this after losing him is, for me, I was talking about the woe is me mentality earlier. I wake up every morning. It's 5 years this July since I lost Jane. I wake up every morning and have an initial, I don't want to get out of bed. This is every day, okay? This is every day because I live and breathe it. I don't say this to prove anything to anyone. I wake every day for nearly 5 years thinking, I don't want to do this again. I want to get up, and the night before, I tend to struggle going to bed. I have to really time myself out to make sure I can sleep okay. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I'm sat up in the end thoughts. I find myself at 2 o'clock in the morning flicking through photos still. Now, of Jake and family time and all the other kids and stuff when it was better times, and he was still here. And I'm not. I mean, it might sound like I'm dwelling on it all day and living in the past, but it's what gives me more incentive and fuel to find him again the next day, to get up and do this again without him. I like having a moment with the photo, having a cry at 2 in the morning when everyone else is sleeping, getting up at 6, 7 o'clock, initially thinking, I don't want to do this again. Yeah. But I find Jake in my heart every day. Now, the thing that most people give credit to religions for, I give that credit to myself for the sheer grit it's taken to claw myself out of the darkest hole and actually be able to climb back into that dark hole by choice whenever I like and smash I swear on this podcast?
Yeah.
And smash the fuck out of my demons. So instead of feeling sorry for myself every morning, I make my demons think, shit, what is John going to make us do today? How many 100 miles is John going to run today?
This time he's carrying me.
Yeah. And I face those demons full on. And I surprise them as well. This is why I love getting introduced to the podcasts and talks that David Goggins has done. But hearing him say, talk about when he did his world record for over 4,000 pull-ups in under 24 hours, I think he did about 17 hours or something. I think he said he listened to Rocky, is it Rock? I don't know. You know what? My head's a blur.
How you get hit, it's how hard
he listened
get back
to.
up.
No, they listened to one of the songs from Rocky.
Oh, yeah, the soundtrack.
The one where it'll be Rocky.
The Ivan Drago
Rocky 2. Where does it ring? Where he gets knocked down by Apollo.
Yeah.
He keeps getting back up. And as a kid, that inspired me. Do you know what I mean? And I think Rocky's inspired a load of people, hasn't it?
They're by far my favourite films ever.
No matter what, he wanted to be that guy, no matter what the world throws at him, he gets back up.
I like
no
it
matter
because
what. Do you know what I mean?
Those films, they've aged well as well. You can watch them now and they're still just as good.
Yeah, amazing. And Sylvester Stallone's story.
Yeah, where it's to sell his
first one. Yeah.
It's wild.
Someone said to me the other day, I wouldn't have ever sold my dog no matter what. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, okay,
you've never been in that bad time.
No. It's like, don't try and make yourself feel better because someone else was in a bad position and had to do that. First thing he did went and bought his dog back, weren't he? And he made some money from the film.
He's the dog that's in the film.
Yes,
Yeah,
Hook
which
Kiss.
is good.
Hook Kiss,
It's got
yeah.
his Turtles, Cuff and Link as well. They were in the film. And you've still got them now. Me and Lisa have got 2 turtles. She won't let me call them Cuff and Link, but yeah, they're Arnie and Sylvester mine are after Schwarzenegger and Stallone. So. But just to touch on that religion thing, where you say you draw from like the religion side of things, you draw that from yourself. It makes me laugh because I always tell people I am religious, and people would say, "Oh, well, you're not." And it's a big debate. Nowadays, it's a massive thing, isn't it? Back in the day, like, you just were who you were. But there's just there's that many people who are atheists now, and that many people who swap religions and don't, and it's like a popular thing not to be, which is fine with me, like whether anyone wants to have. But where you say you can draw strength from like the beauty of things and the pain of things, I think that is a religious thing. That you're
More spirituality, I'd say.
yeah. But I always think it makes me laugh because I talk about heaven to people all the time. It's like heaven isn't somewhere you go when you die. It's the little glimpses of like beauty in life. So like your kids smiling, or like a beautiful summer's day and a day off work, or like a really nice family meal, or 20-minute apiece walking. Like they're the bits of heaven that you're allowed access to every single day. And you might not get it all day. You might get 5 minutes one day and an hour the next day. But those are the little glimpses of heaven that you get every single day. And these people who are just like, no, it's all crap. They're the people that don't get those little 10 minutes, and they're not looking for the 5 to 10 minutes and things like that. But people like you, everyone that I've spoken to that do like really amazing challenges, they always say something along the lines of like, I get strength from this, and I get peace from this, and I feel complete when I do this. And it's like they're the feelings that are always spoken about across every religion. Don't matter what, if you choose Roman Catholic or Hindu or Buddhism or Muslim, those like trigger words and key words and the drawing strength. There's so much relatability through like spirituality and religion and people that dig deep and do challenges and really enjoy the most out of life. And for me personally, it's too compelling not to pick one and just say I love that.
Yeah.
But it makes me smile when people bring it up, because you brought that up in a non-religious way completely.
Yeah.
It just makes me smile because it kind of like reiterates how I feel about it.
Yeah. Well,
But like those things
who
are
am
there.
I to take away from you your way of how you believe what you believe in? And then who am I to do that? And why would we as another human being? Like, I'm not going to sit here and try and convince you otherwise.
No, likewise.
The way, and that's how it should be in life.
Yeah.
My way of how I believe it is. I've gone into theology as well to understand different belief systems a bit better, because never been raised religious in a religious setting at all. I've never really believed in God or anything like that. I've not known what to believe in, if you know what I mean. I didn't even know how to believe in myself properly until I lost my own son and went to this dark place. So going into the psychology of it, looking into Carl Jung as well, one of the greatest psychologists of the last century. Do you know much about him?
Yeah. I listened to Dr. Beaumond, Jordan Peterson, people like that. They delve into that. Robert Greene, he's one of my favourites.
You mentioned Jordan Peterson to me last time.
Yeah.
I'm a bit on fence with him.
His older stuff, I like his older stuff a lot more. When he started getting in a bit of trouble and stuff with, I feel like it all got watered down into that kind of.
Well, if you start
clickbaity, rage-baity thing. But before, when he was just doing his university lectures, I think that those university lectures, that brief period, they are fantastic. Because he does the live streams of his actual university lectures, so he's talking to students, but none of it's about the current climate and how the world's going. It's all about like theology and psychoanalytic things. They're really, really in depth and good. Robert Greene's another one. I'd put it out to everybody. Absolutely everybody.
Dr. Wayne Dyer is one of my favourites. Alan Watts, I love Alan Watts.
Yeah.
Dr. Wayne Dyer as well.
Yeah.
He's a good one. It's on that religious note, after losing Jane and questioning entire existence and purpose of life on a daily basis. Now, I can sit here and say, and I can talk so open about anything, but I'll be very careful of the negative impact it can have, especially on my own family. They don't want to hear, oh, my dad's suicidal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've had to deal with suicidal thoughts after losing, and when they have children of their own as they get older, maybe they might understand and see why it can affect a parent so bad as well. It's not, like I said earlier, it's not oh, poor me, my problem's worse than everybody else's. No, I know how to deal with mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know, I've learned how to deal with it. So I got to a point, it must have been 50 to 500 times a day. I can't even put a number on it. That's a guesstimate. You know what I mean? That's a guesstimate. Every day, for the best part of a year, thinking about or planning my own death. And talking myself out of it because I need to stay for the children. And in the end, it became a point that I had to do it for me. Because what good am I, being a miserable bastard, suicidal, what message am I subconsciously passing on to my children? So I'd rather show my kids through learnt behaviour, and those around me, they can pick up learnt behaviour that, do you know what? That guy's managed to get up for himself every day, no matter what.
Yeah.
He's managed to carry on no matter what. And I think that message is so important. To care enough about yourself. If you don't care enough about yourself to get up and actually do it for you, if you don't know how to show up for yourself, how do you expect to show up for anybody else?
I was going to say, when you said, no, I was getting up every day to do it for my children, like, the first thing that put into my head was like, that's no good. And then as soon as you were like, but then actually I have to do it for myself. That's what it is, isn't it? And you can't, I was trying to speak to a friend about this a while ago. It's like, if you're running on 50%, obviously you'd have been running on like 5% when you were feeling like this. Like literally the bare minimum.
Do you know what? Probably 0.0001. That sounds silly to say.
But you've only got that small fraction of a percent to give out. Whereas if you can like look after yourself, good night's sleep, food, a smile, bit of meditation, reflection, a healthy body, suddenly you're running on 70%, and then maybe you've done a bit of extra self-care that day and you're running on 80, maybe even 90% on a really good day. Then if you need to give somebody something, you've got a whole full tank to give somebody then. Instead of just trying to scrape something together out of the 1% you've got left.
Even when you haven't got that full tank, you still choose to give. Because you know you're. I mean, we do say in the men's sort of mental health world with the stigma that we do this, I'm okay, and you're not really. Do you know what I mean? It's like I've established that I'm okay because I know I'm not always going to be okay. You know what I mean? So I've learned to be okay, and I know that I feel very sort of offish sometimes that. Everyone thinks I'm becoming some big mental health advocate. The biggest thing I think I am is I'm my own mental health advocate. And if that inspires other people to be their own.
I think that it's a trigger point at the minute because I think mental health is something that people are abusing a bit nowadays. And that is counterproductive for people with mental health problems. And I think that we're at a point where the needle's teetering on the edge here. There's enough people coming forward that need the help, but there are also a lot of people not coming forward because they feel like they're just going to be a statistic. And I think that the self-accountability side of it's huge now. Like I think we're past the point of you need to tell everybody about your mental health problems. I don't think it's something that should be broadcasted unless you do something like this, because this is really just a one-on-one chat that people can listen to. But like, if you're broadcasting it on social media or everywhere you go, the first thing you say is, this is my mental health and things like that, I think that's past the needle. But to turn up for yourself every day, like you say, and just say, I'm going to be accountable here, and to say to people when you are overstimulated or you are feeling down, I'm having enough right now, but then to also think, I haven't got it in me at the minute, but I'm going to pull myself up by my bootstraps and I'm going to find it in me, and then later on I'll get my energy back and I'll relax. I think that all that self-accountability side of it now is so important, and I think the real important thing is to raise that awareness, and not in a way where you say to people, this is me, this is what I've done, you can do this too, but just showing people, this is how I'm doing it, it might not be for you, but this is a way, and there are other people out there doing it other ways, and like, some people will go out and do stupid walks for thousands of miles and bathtub up with a Dadpool costume on, and other people might go to a therapist and seek help and have phone calls with therapists. And other people might game, play football, go to the pub.
If that works for them, and they're okay, they're happy about that, and they're not doing anything harmful to anybody else or themselves, what's the problem?
I just think as long as you're doing something, and like, I think the big message is that you should and can do something.
Of course, yeah.
So like,
it might not be running up mountains and things like that. It might not be walking stupid miles. It's just you've got to find your thing, and we are the purpose.
Yeah.
When you look at it, we are the purpose. You need to become your own purpose.
My brother Tom won't mind me saying this, I'm sure, but he's doing a boxing fight on the 9th of...
I've seen it popping up on social media.
But at the minute, for training, he's obviously fought loads before, and he's really good at it, because he had, God, in the tens of wins, a lot of them were knockouts. He's a big lad, he can handle himself. But speaking to him during this period, I've sending voice notes and things like that, and he's in that dark place now. When my granddad passed away, he didn't get like a proper chance. He wasn't in the country, so like he was doing this fight in honour of my granddad. So now he's training.
That's fuel in itself.
Yeah, but he's out there on his own and he's training hard, and he's seeing it from everything we've talked about. He's living that now. Yeah. For me, it's easier. I've got my breathing time, and these challenges for me aren't really. You dig deep and everything, but this is so raw for me at the minute. I can hear it in the voice notes, and like I'm going to get him on and we're going to talk about it all after. But it's just crazy how powerful them emotions can be, and just seeing people manage them in different ways. Because every time he talks to me and sends me a note, he's like, "You might not understand this." And I'm like, "Oh, I definitely don't. No one will understand it the way you understand it." But like, I can see you showing up for yourself day to day. That's so important.
That's the biggest part of it, showing up for yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. I was thinking about something then, it just when I'll come back to it later, you remind me of something. I have a right tangent mind, I do.
Yeah.
I have to hyper focus, and that's part of how I get stuff done. I have to be on one thing at a time. Probably why I can walk up a bathtub with mountains. It's come to me, yeah. So that dark place, going back to what I said earlier about losing the son and finding a way still to wake up for myself and carry on. So, and I did speak about losing him as a parent. You will hold yourself accountable, you will blame yourself, you'll look at things, and I thought there's probably a million and one things I could have done different and I'd still be here, but it doesn't make it my fault, you know what I mean? So, but at that point there, to me, because I find him every day in my heart, and I'm back on the religion thing earlier, so I'm not about to change my religious view system and start believing in a God that's external to my own body. I believe it's a mental game itself. Do you know what I mean? I believe it's within all of us. We're all good and we're all bad. I don't think you're born good or bad. I think it's something that you learn through what the world shows, learn behaviour and things, isn't it?
You mould it, aren't you?
Yeah. And I think there might be, sometimes if there's any mental illnesses, there might be chemical imbalance or something that can contribute towards it. But if you're in that position and you're raised by Shaolin monks, you'll be more hyper-focused to do all the good stuff they do instead, because you've not been exposed to that other side, you know what I mean?
It's no coincidence some people turn out the way they do, for the good or the bad. Like, obviously there are anomalies. Like, you see people that have made it from nothing to everything. They're raised in a really terrible, and then they become amazing, great people.
But every single one of us has the is it ability the right word? Has the potential to go either way. And it depends what you choose. You make that choice. You can make that choice. You know what I mean? You can choose not to do bad, or you can choose to do good. You know what I mean? And it's like, but the God thing, the finding that strength. So I know I find Jake every day in my heart. I actually, despite how bad I feel for myself every morning, I feel reborn every day. And I know that's something people give to religions. I give that to the sheer grit side of things of doing it myself. I believe this is inside every single one of us. Do you know what I mean? I really do. And I believe that's what every single religion has been trying to say for years. But people ruin religion. With the disturbing thought processes that they develop. And mine's better than yours. There's only one God. There's only this God.
It's
I
a
believe
lion
that.
pack mentality, isn't it? Where they're just like, mine's bigger than yours.
But then I think when I did Yorkshire Three Peaks, this were pre-bathtub days. I did Yorkshire Three Peaks. My family used to worry about me quite a bit because I was doing it through the night as well. Like first time I'd done it through the night, and there was a storm coming in. It was a, I think if I remember right, potentially even a named storm when they put a name on it. Makes it worse, don't they?
So it's like an elderly woman's name as well, like Edna or Barbara.
I get my mum and my wife are the first ones to jump on it. Where I think you need to rethink this, John. Do you know what I mean? Most of the like friends, I've had messages from people saying. I had one message not long back from somebody saying, "Don't you think you've done enough now? You can rest, you can relax. Yeah, you've lost your son, but it's good to spend some family time." It's like I can spend that time with my family because this is what I do now that keeps me here, keeps me grounded. If I don't do this, this is my survival instinct. This is my coping mechanisms. I don't think I'd be here for my family. I do this to be here for my family. So I'm not about saying that to me is like saying, just give up now, John. I'm not about to give up on myself. Do you know what I mean? So looking for that sort of. So I've been up Whernside, back onto that. I've been up Whernside, storm coming in, family worried about me, which is understandable. But I literally 1 to 2 metre visibility, sideways hailstone as well. Honestly, I've got videos somewhere. I've got so much content I could use to become a bigger influencer sort of thing or anything like that. And I just don't know what to do. I could do it like a student or something. And social media.
That's like our wife.
So much on there, and I was at that point where I just looked up to the sky and wet through every part of my body saturated, and I don't ever give up. And when you're leaning into the wind, you're going against it, and to whatever God you believe in, whatever God anybody out there believes in, whatever God you believe in, that's your belief system. That's yours. But I looked up to the sky, to whatever deity could exist, right? And said, "Is that the best you've fucking got?"
Yeah.
You'd have to do a hell of a lot more than that to destroy this soul. Because Jake lives in my heart, because I sort of took that accountability, and he's no longer here physically, I keep him alive in my heart. So my mind, my memories, my heart, I know how to create a strong mind and a strong heart full of compassion for myself, because Jake lives there. And I said when I met Ryan, I said this to him, and his response was beautiful actually. I said, so I make my heart the most beautiful, the most resilient place. Well, I said the most beautiful at that point. I'm evolving constantly. The most beautiful place ever for my son to live. He'll never die again.
Yeah.
He lives through me. It courses through my veins. That's how I can go to this dark place and I find Jake. And it's like I'm in heaven. I'm in the worst, darkest place ever, but I'm in heaven. There's nothing can stop me doing that. Because to do that, to stop doing that, something that I have to stand in front of me, whatever, like God or whatever, to take this is impossible to take away from me. Because anything that's out there, any deity, any person, anything that's not I'm better than you or anything like that, it's being a better me to give back to the world. They'd have to stand in front of me. Now this is going to sound contradictory when you're doing it for suicide prevention, I understand that. They'd have to stand in front of me and be willing to die.
Yeah.
Because I'm willing to die protecting this. And I'll go out kicking and screaming. But it won't have to come to that. I can always deal with my own anger now, step back, be inside myself, full of love, full of compassion, and I love doing these challenges because I feel better about myself. I know I can show up for myself to stay here for my other children. They will never lose their dad. No matter how many times I think about suicide, they will never lose me because I face every ounce of my darkness. I embrace every ounce of my darkness. I might not do a challenge for months, but I can get up on New Year's Day like I did this year. I got up on New Year's Day to train. This was probably the only bit I did the training for my 100-mile first ultramarathon. It took me 37 hours, but I'm going to get that down. Did interviews along the way though, and had a friend join me who's 67 years old. Do you know what I mean? And he joined me for that. I did about 81 miles, I think it was, Graham Link.
That's a lot.
It is, mate. This guy's another amazing guy. fortunately lost his son to see the other side of this as well, to show up for himself. Do you know what I mean? But so I've gone on my tangent here. So my training, New Year's Day, I knew I was going to be on my own to see. I didn't want to see the New Year in. I was in a massive woe is me. Right, you need to get focused, John. You need to get focused here. And I wanted to do a challenge on New Year's Day. Up my game. And my idea was I'm going to do 3 laps of the Edel Skyline, 20 miles a lap. All the ice points in the Peak District. But then it was awful weather. There was snow coming in. I thought, I'll tell you what, logistically and everything, sorting all out, I've got an idea. Walk from Ashfield, Sutton in Ashfield, my home address, all the way to the Peak District, my favourite place called Hope, Little Hope, and then from there, that's 27.7 miles.
Yeah.
From there, do a lap of the Edel Skyline, 20 miles, all the ice points, and walk back.
Yeah.
New Year's Day, and I woke up at 5 to midnight, and I did that, set off at 25 past midnight, and a good friend of mine who loves to join for challenges said, I know you're doing this for yourself, but I'd love to join you on New Year's Day for the Edel Skyline sector, and he did do.
Yeah,
so my walk out there was on my own, through the darkness, and all the way back through the darkness afterwards. I've joined him. I had like a 45-minute, 50-minute break between these 3 sections, just because it was wet through. I got there. I come up for anyone that knows it, as you come up that dead steep hill and you hit that roundabout coming in from Chesterfield side, you hit that roundabout that looks like the shape of the old Sky Electrics tracks. You know what I'm saying? I got up there, I'm exposed. No matter what gloves I tried, because I had several gloves, layering systems of gloves, my fingers were gibbering. I'm like, walking, carrying on still, freezing. I'm like, all the way. And I challenged myself to that walk out there on my own was in darkness. The only light I had was on the Edel Skyline. We had a bit of snow. We were dead. Walking back on my own again was in darkness. And I sat in the pub with him before leaving to get some good food in there. 40-odd minute break. I had some pork belly bites and a gin and tonic during this challenge. So you've got to enjoy the
real
good
man
things as well. You know what I mean? And then set off back. But that whole journey of going there in the darkness and over a marathon, coming back over a marathon, was part of my training package to then 20 days later do an 100 mile on what would be my son's 20th birthday. You know what I mean? That's enough fuel for me to complete these challenges as it is. So I did something special that day, and I listened to some advice off what Goggins talks about. So he does challenges with no podcasts, no music, just being inside your own head, enjoying being inside your own head. Nothing better, you get to know yourself, do the best work in yourself and do that. So that walk out there and the walk back for 2 marathons, walking through torrential weather and awful weather. It was icy on the way back actually, I was slipping all over. I say walking, I was jogging it. I picked it up as a jog as well and sort of speed hiking, but coming back, I weren't running in it because it was that icy as well. I had to have sticks coming back, which I borrowed off a mate then. It were in my own head. And I'm there, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, walking into Pete's down a black road, fully blacked out, with silence, no one else. And I remember the podcast that Doug Goggins said, I love it. It's there, it's like, and he does a video on it. And like, you can't just, and what inspires me, I want my own sort of content, but it's out there, and it's like.
He's incredible, isn't he?
Oh, he is, yeah. It was like, look, it's like, this is what I think, I'm trying to think how he says it now, but it was unbelievable. It's like, I'm out here now, no one else about, and this is just beautiful. Being out here when nobody else wants to be up, you know what I mean? And stuff like that. It's like, there's something about that, being inside your own head.
It's funny.
It was an amazing journey, that one, honestly.
When I set off on the first marathon I did, I was like, I took my headphones with me, and I'll use them on the way back. So like, I'll slog through the first bit, and on the way back, I've got like a bit of joy, like that'll get me through the second hour. And I got all the way out to like the 13.5 mile point, did my U-turn, because weirdly that's how I always do my walks. I just set off in a direction, and I look at my phone, I'm like, right, I've done X amount of kilometres, so I just turn around and did the same road back. But I turned around, I put my headphones in, and after 20 minutes listening to music, I just took my headphones out, I didn't even enjoy it. I was having that much fun in my own head through doing it, I didn't even want my headphones.
It's great, isn't it?
I called Elise a couple of times.
Yourself.
Yeah, I called Elise a couple of times, I rang my mum, and they were like, "You having fun?" Or like, "You find it hard?" I was like, "Yeah, it's great actually." Like, stopped my little ice cream shop on the way back and got a cone. I was like, "Yeah, I'm having a really nice time." Like, I thought way nicer time than I thought I was going to have. Like, I thought I was going to need my headphones. I thought I downloaded loads of podcasts. I downloaded all my YouTube playlists, and then after 20 minutes, I was like, "Yeah, I prefer being on my own, really."
It's better, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I really enjoyed being on my own.
I took 3 sets of headphones. I took my Galaxy Buds. I took my sort of Tozo ones, whatever they're called, which are Amazon specials.
Yeah.
And I took my bone conductors.
Yeah.
And I've definitely got enough battery power. But I do stuff like that. I knew I was going to try and do it without music, without inspiration like that. Just find my own inspiration. But I teased myself. I had 3 choices there. I could have listened to something. And I teased myself so that I know I've got the mental strength to say, no, back the fuck up.
Right, well, it's been like the hour point now. We'll wrap this one up, but hopefully we can do another couple of these as well.
Yeah.
It's always fun catching up.
I'm looking forward to joining you, buddy, as well. So we'll get dates.
I'll get you dates over anything like that.
Brilliant.
And I'll look, if whatever date we decide over the next couple of days, I'll get at least edit it in so like people know to look out what day that you're going to be working with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be great.
Spot on, buddy.
Cheers, mate.
Hi everybody, and thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment and enter the giveaway. I just want to say another thank you to our guest. All links and topics spoke about will be in the description and or on screen during the video. Hope you enjoyed.